Shri Shri Rasviharini Ju Ki Jai. Braj Kishori Seva Trust reading Shri Hari Raj's Bade Shiksha Patra. Today is day 101 and it is the 40th letter, and we are starting at 6 till 10 today. So verse 6. Even the best medicine can have no effect on a person who has stopped breathing. In the same way, what can service to the Lord or hearing and singing his praises do for me, for I am devoid of devotional sentiment and love? Tika. In the same way as it is ineffective to give the finest remedy to a dead person, what can the Lord's service, hearing and singing his praises, or any other righteous behaviour do for me, for I am totally without any loving sentiment in my heart. They would be just an act, therefore bear no fruit, hence my distress. Verse 7. Even after much spiritual discussion, the devotional teachings are not firmly established in my heart, and I also do not have any experience of the type of renunciation that Sri Acharyaji has taught in his Sannyasa Nirnay, Conclusions on Renunciation treatise. Tika. If service to Sri Krishna and listening to and singing his praises are not an integral part of an embodied soul's life, then how will the devotional movement and love for the Lord become an immovable part of that soul's heart? When you hear of the Lord's pastimes from an accomplished devotee, only then may the heart experience and permanently embrace such love. In the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam it is stated, when the sound of Sri Krishna's glories flows towards the lotus of the devotee's love, through their ears, then their heart is purified, just like the autumn rain purifies all the streams and lakes. And Sri Shukdev further states, those who regularly listen to the accounts full of nectar of the bliss of Sri Krishna, the protector of the cows, are without a doubt totally fulfilled. In these and many other ways, the beneficial effects of hearing and singing the Lord's glories are told. Without such practices, how can love for the Lord become firmly fixed in the heart? And until the heart renounces its indulgence in bodily related mundane activities, how will it ever experience Sri Krishna's form? The mood of the heart is fixed by its involvements, and when it is focused on worldly activity alone, how can it experience the Lord? In his Sannyasa Nirnay, Conclusions on Renunciation treatise, Sri Acharyaji has stated, Sri Hari never enters the heart of those who are filled with desire for sense gratification. I have not been able to rid my mind of worldly and scriptural concerns, and this is why I cannot experience the Lord. Verse 8. My service to the Lord is presently obstructed by my desire for worldly enjoyment and my misplaced anxiety. How can I possibly achieve the state of mind where the heart and mind are inextricably and constantly wound into the Lord's service when I am so attached to my worldly home, wealth, and all sorts of other considerations? Many obstructions can arise in our service of the Lord that we make with our body and our wealth. For example, if the physical senses become filled with selfish, mundane desires, then the mind is filled with anxiety during the period of service with thoughts like, how soon will I be able to finish my service, and then I'll be able to have something to eat and drink. First of all, the desire to enjoy arises, and then anxiety takes over the mind, distracting it from the service. This is very displeasing to the Lord, hence obstacles arise, sometimes to the extent that even the service itself becomes impossible, and then one can get totally absorbed in the financial runnings of the home. In this situation, how can the heart and mind ever become absorbed in the Lord's service? In his Seva Phalam, the Rewards of Service treatise, Sri Acharyaji has written, anxiety, obstructions and selfish enjoyment hinder the Lord's service. From this teaching we should understand that anxiety and our attachment to worldly enjoyment, for example, our own and our relatives' eating and drinking, and other obstacles obstruct our service. When anxiety takes over, we can't bring ourselves to serve him, even when with our bodies and wealth. Attachment to the worldly home arises, and then the heart-mind connection to the Lord is beyond achievement. If you do not serve the Lord physically and financially, then the state of mental absorption into his service is extremely difficult to attain. I consider myself the most unfortunate because Sri Kalyanaraji, who is like a father to me, is now hidden from my sight, as are all the great personalities whom I can no longer see. Tika. Sri Hari Raji now laments. Sri Acharyaji, Sri Gosaiji, Sri Gokunaji, Sri Kalyanaraji are all like fathers to me. Sri Acharyaji revealed the path of grace. Sri Gosaiji elaborated the path. Shri Gokulnaji initiated me, and so is my Guru Father, and Shri Kalyan Raiji is my father. None of them are now present, and I am separated from them, hence my grief at this time. Who can help me now? This is how unfortunate I am, for I am also separated from accomplished devotees of the path of grace, those truthful beings full of all qualities, and thus there is no one to console me. Only suffering remains for me. Verse 10. In the absence of the company of good devotees, I am not contemplating the Srimad Bhagavatam, and so in this distracted state of mind, I am also not now remembering my surrender to the Lord. Tika 10. You might say, but you are a very knowledgeable person, so what if you don't have any good associates? Just study the Srimad Bhagavatam and all your anxiety will melt away. My answer to them is, the purport of the Srimad Bhagavatam can be known only with a totally focused consciousness in the company of great beings. Because I am lacking such association, my heart is sad and anxious. In such a state, how will I begin to be able to perceive the inner meaning of the Srimad Bhagavatam? The great devotees shower their grace by revealing those meanings, and only then can they be known. But I am alone. So how will I be satisfied by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam with a distracted mind? Again, you might interject here. Simply contemplate your mood of surrender. Sri Acharyaji has taught in his Vivek Dairya Ashray, Wisdom, Perseverance and Refuge treatise, Sri Hari must be your refuge in the powerless as well as in the empowered state. The Lord tells Arjuna in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ji, give up all forms of religion and simply surrender unto me, for I will deliver you from all sinful activities. Do not worry. With this attitude of surrender, everything should be perfected. Sri Hari Raiji still laments, my mind is confused, and I find this contemplation on surrender impossible. Taking a rest here from the reading on this day 101, we will proceed tomorrow to day 102 and verse 11. Aj ke Anand ki jai ho, Shri Vallabhacharya ji ki sada jai ho, Shri Gosai ji ki sadeva jai ho, sab Vaishnavon ko sanand, saprem, sadenya aur sadar. Jai Shri Krishna. Shri Ras Biharini Ji ki jai ho, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.